Okay, good day, grade 10. I hope you're all doing well and ready for a productive day. So supposedly you'll have your summative test 1-2, but unfortunately our Monday class has been suspended again. But that will not stop us from learning new things. So for today we will proceed to your new lesson. Okay? And you will have your summative test 1-2 next week on August 17th, Monday. So hopefully there will be no more class suspension and the weather of our city will be much more better than today. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, to begin with, so our topic for today will be all about understanding prose, mood, and tone. So this will be our lesson 3 for our Unit 1, Term 1, English 10. Okay, so before we start, let us first understand what is a prose. Okay, what is prose or what is a prose? I believe you're already familiar since this has been discussed during your grade 7, grade 8, and grade 9. Okay, but let us furthermore discuss what is a prose or let us remember what is a prose to you. Okay, okay, let's define what is a prose. When we talk about prose, prose is a form of a written or spoken language that follows the natural flow of speech. So unlike poetry, prose is generally written in sentences and paragraphs rather than lines and stanzas. We encounter prose in many forms of everyday communication, such as short stories, novels, essays, biographies, news articles, speeches, personal narratives, diaries, and memoirs. Okay, okay, let's have an example. Maria walked along the quiet road as the sun slowly disappeared behind the mountains. She thought about the choices she had made and wondered what tomorrow will bring. Okay, so I want you to observe the example that is given. Okay. So notice that the passage is written in sentences and paragraphs, and it is not arranged into poetic lines. So this is an example for prose because it doesn't use a rhyme scheme, it doesn't have a rhyming words, it doesn't have an exact measurement of syllables or lines, and it doesn't use figurative language. Okay, so this example doesn't have a figurative language such as metaphor, personifications, or similes. So it is basically written in a paragraph or a sentence form. So that is prose. Okay, to understand it much further, let us differentiate or let us have the differences between the prose and the poetry. Okay, so prose, it is usually written in sentences and paragraphs, whereas poetry, it is usually arranged in lines and stanzas. Again, it has an exact measure of lines and stanzas, and prose follows the natural flow of language. Unlike poetry, poetry may use rhythm, it may use meter, and sound patterns. Prose, it often focuses on narration, explanation, or description, whereas poetry, it often emphasizes emotion, imagery, and condensed language. So prose, it is commonly found in stories, in essays, and articles. And poetry, of course, it is commonly found in poems itself. Okay. So prose does not usually require a regular rhyme scheme, whereas poetry, it may use rhyme and other sound devices. Okay. So the difference is not simply that prose is long and poetry is short. So some prose can be very short while some poems can be very long. Okay. Let's proceed. We have different types of prose. So today we will discuss what is nonfiction, fiction, heroic, and prose poetry. So let's start with nonfiction. When we talk about nonfiction, it is a type of prose that is based on real people, real events, real experiences, or factual information. So its purpose may be to inform, to explain, to describe, persuade, to document, or to reflect on real life experiences. Again, nonfiction, it is based on real life experiences or factual information or true information. So that is nonfiction. So examples of nonfiction, we have biography, we also have autobiography, memoir, essay, news article, speech, diary, journal, historical account, and informative article. So these types of example are or shows through information. Okay, let's have an example. So Dr. Jose Rizal was born on June 19, 1861 in Calamba, Laguna. He became a writer, physician, and a national hero whose works contributed to the development of Filipino nationalism. So question, do you think that the information shown is factual or is just an opinion? Okay. So this example is an example of nonfiction because it presents information about a real person. Okay, so Jose Rizal or Dr. Jose Rizal is a real person, and it also shows an information about historical facts. So let us always ask ourselves when identifying nonfiction, is this based on real people, events, or factual information? So if yes, it is likely a non-fiction. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, now let's talk about what is fiction. So fiction is a prose that is created from the writer's imagination. So unlike non-fiction shows factual information and real life experiences. Fiction shows or it can be created from the writer's imagination or the writer's creative thinking. So although fiction may be inspired by real life experiences or historical events, the characters, events, and situations may be invented or it might be exaggerated to the point that it goes beyond scientific explanation. Okay, so that is fiction. The examples of fiction, we have short stories, we have novels, novellas, fables, fairy tales, legends, and myths. Well, let's have an example. The old man opened the mysterious door and discovered a hidden city beneath his house. Golden birds flew above the streets while invisible musicians played from the rooftop. So observe the example. So do you think the character, the setting, the objects applies to real life experiences? Do you think it happens in the real world? So if not, of course, this is an example of a fiction. So this is a fiction because the events and settings are imaginary. So important reminder that fiction does not necessarily mean that everything is impossible. For example, a historical novel may use real historical events but create fictional conversations or characters. Okay. So take note of that important reminder. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, now let's differentiate what is non-fiction and the fiction. Of course, non-fiction, it is based on facts or reality, whereas fiction, it is created primarily from the imagination of the writer. Okay, non-fiction uses real people and events, while fiction, it may use imaginary characters and events. Non-fiction aims to present or interpret real information, whereas fiction often aims to entertain, to explore ideas, or to tell a story. So non-fiction, okay, biography is an example of a non-fiction. A short story is an example of a fiction. Historical account is an example of non-fiction. A novel is an example of a fiction. Okay, let's have another example. Okay, so a student writes about her actual experience during a typhoon. Oh, so do you think is that a fiction or a non-fiction? Okay, very good. So the situation that a student writes an article about an actual experience during a typhoon, it is a non-fiction because it shows a real-life experience of a person. Okay, another example. A student writes about a boy who travels to another planet. Is that a fiction or a non-fiction? Okay, very good. So the answer is fiction because a boy that travels to another planet might be or might goes beyond scientific explanation because a boy, of course, needs a rocket or uh, a guidance of an adult or an elder. Okay, now let's proceed to the next type of prose, which is heroic prose. So heroic prose is a prose that focuses on the heroic actions, struggles, adventures, values, and achievements of a central character or a group. So heroic prose usually demonstrates qualities such as courage, loyalty, strength, determination, sacrifice, leadership, and love for one's community. Let's have an example. So a story about a warrior who risked his life to protect his village from an invading army may be considered a heroic prose. So the important element is not simply that the character is strong. So the character's actions demonstrate the admirable qualities of a hero. So that can be considered a heroic prose. So an example situation. During the invasion, the young warrior refused to abandon his people. Although he was afraid, he returned to the village and helped the villagers escape to safety. So this demonstrates heroic prose because the character shows courage, responsibility, and sacrifice. Okay, let's proceed to prose poetry. So when we talk about prose poetry or poetry prose, it is a form of writing that combines characteristics of prose and poetry. So it is written in paragraph form, but it uses poetic elements such as imagery, metaphor, symbolism, rhythm, figurative language, emotional expression, musical or carefully used language. So again, it is a type of prose, but it uses an element of poem or poetry. Okay, to understand it much further, okay, let's have an example. The moon rested on the sleeping village like a silver lamp. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying the memories of people who had left long ago. In the silence, the night seemed to remember everything. So if you observe the paragraph, of course, it looks like a prose. But if you read it twice, it uses poetic elements. Okay? You can see an imagery such as silver lamp and also figurative language such as personification. Okay. Silver lamp is an example of imagery because it describes an object. Okay? So the wind whispered is also an example of personification. And the night seemed to remember is also an example of personification. So again, it is in a prose form, but it combines the element of a poem or poetry. Okay? Again, poetry and prose is a combination of um, paragraphs and poetic elements. Okay, now let's differentiate what is heroic prose and prose poetry. So heroic prose focuses on heroic actions and experiences, whereas prose poetry focuses strongly on poetic expression. Heroic prose often tells a story. Prose poetry may tell a story or present an impression. Heroic prose characters and conflict may be important, while prose poetry, imagery, emotion, and figurative language are especially important. So in heroic prose, it can be realistic, it can be legendary, or it can be fictional. Prose poetry, it usually highly indescriptive and expressive. Okay. Heroic prose, it may emphasize courage, sacrifice, and honor. While prose poetry, it may emphasize beauty, emotion, symbolism, and imagination. Okay. So heroic prose basically describes what the prose is mainly about, while prose poetry describes how prose is written. Okay, so that's the difference between heroic prose and prose poetry. Okay, always remember nonfiction. Is it based on reality? So does it have real people, events, experiences, or facts? Fiction, is it primarily imagined? Okay. Does it have created characters, situations, or events? Heroic prose, what does it focus on? So it focuses on heroism, courage, struggle, sacrifice, and admirable actions. And of course, prose poetry, how does it sound or feel? Of course, it has poetic language, imagery, symbolism, rhythm, and emotion in a paragraph form. So in short, it combines the element of prose and poetry. Okay, let's proceed to the next session of our discussion, which will be highlighted on fiction, specifically tone and mood. So, prose fiction includes short stories and novels that have tone, mood, setting, characters, and plot. So, tone and mood are closely related because they both deal with the overall feelings of a text. Okay. But what is a tone? What is a mood? Okay, so when we talk about tone, of course, this is the writer or the speaker's attitude toward the subject. Whereas the mood, these are the feeling or emotional atmosphere created in the reader. So, in simple terms, mood, this is how the reader feels. Tone, it is how the writer sounds or feels about the subject. So if you look at the setting and the kind of words that the author uses, you will get a sense of the text atmosphere or mood. So in the same way, the tone can be identified by just looking at the author's words or the author's word choice in describing the setting or developing a character. Okay, let's have an example. So an author's tone in his narrative about a female character is one of admiration in the way he describes the lady. Okay, for example, the writer or the speaker describes the lady as a kind person, as a hopeful person, or a person that loves to try new things. Okay, that is the attitude or the tone of the speaker or writer towards the subject or a character. Okay, whereas the mood, this is the emotions or the feelings that we felt towards that character. Okay, so what we felt about the character is that the character is optimistic, the character is joyful and adventurous. Okay, so that is the mood. Okay, again, the tone is the attitude of the speaker or writer towards the subject or a character. Whereas the mood, this is the emotions or the feeling that we felt towards that character. Okay. So take note that the author's tone affects the reader's mood. Okay, look at Dante's tone in Inferno as an example. So his tone varies throughout the text, shifting from solemnity to indignation, empathy to righteous anger. So these tonal variations contribute to the overall mood and impact of the work. When the tone is solemn, the reader feels that the readers feel the somber mood that emphasizes the gravity of the people's sins. When he displaces a tone of indignation, the reader's mood can be that of moral outrage. Okay, again, the tone of the speaker will depend of what will or what mood will the reader feel towards that or toward that story. Okay, for our next session, of course, we'll have your activity. So this activity is titled of moods and tones. So this activity is already uploaded in your Genia accounts. Okay, so if you're done taking this video or pre-recorded lesson of our lesson 3, you can now proceed to the activity that is posted in your Genia account. So if there's any more clarification or is there any more question about our lesson, feel free to send me a personal message so we can clarify things about our discussion. So okay, so that's all for our lesson 3. Thank you for listening and Have a great day full of learning, grade 10, Archimedes.